people think you're being self-centered. You're not. You're being self-loving so you can love people better. It doesn't matter what your age is. There's possibilities to improve upon yourself, whatever you need to have happen.
Welcome to another episode of Women Investing in Women. My co-host Robin and I take a tremendous amount of joy and pleasure to talk to and feature different women from different walks of life, from different parts of the world, so that we can engage in a conversation of how each of them have been lifted up by women and how they in turn are lifting up women. We're living in a world where there is such a scarcity mindset, since there is only one seat at the table, or it's practically impossible for a woman to break through glass ceilings and barriers. And therefore, it has created an environment where women feel like I have to, claw my way up, punch my way through. And then if I turn around and lift another woman up, maybe I'll lose my seat, right? And so the world that has been created for women has created an inherent conflict. And our goal is to show up in a way that we see the value of that co-creation. And instead of competition, if we can co-create, we can all get there, and we don't need to get a seat at the table. We build our own table. And that is the purpose of everything we are doing. And you're going to absolutely love the guest we have today. Robin, take it away.
Awesome. I am so excited to have Debi Voris as our guest. And I met Debi through the Leadership Global Organization. And Debi, I'm just going to read some of these things from her bio because I just think they're so fascinating. She is certified in holistic health, and she became passionate about revitalizing other people's lives because of her own transformation of releasing 70 pounds and becoming a half marathon runner. And she empowers her clients by allowing them to break through their beliefs of impossibility and guides them with holistic solutions. So I just found this so absolutely fascinating. And so just, why don't you briefly tell us how you accomplished this of releasing 70 pounds and becoming a marathon runner? And I love that notion of releasing. We normally talk about losing weight, but if you lose something, then you're going to go find it. We don't want to find it again. So that it's a totally different mindset that you're coming into this. So tell us kind of what sparked you in this direction, and yeah, so what sparked you in this direction, and then also moving from you yourself changing to helping other women change.
Oh, that's wonderful. One thing with women is that they don't pay attention to themselves a lot of times, and they need to be aware. And there was actually a photo that was in a Christmas card that I had taken many years ago, and I didn't realize how much weight I gained. And I cried, and my husband gave me a weight loss gift for Christmas, and that's what triggered my journey. And I was considered their star loser. But since then, I became so passionate about helping people release their weight and optimizing their health. Whole body solution, mind, body, and soul. And so helping people, understand their possibilities of improving their health is my goal. And I had no idea I was going to become a half marathon runner because I've always had foot problems my whole entire life. But you got to understand, it was like I've been told many years, you're never going to be able to run. And I never ran in elementary school or high school or anything because my foot was always bothering me. And when the inflammation came down, I eased into running on a treadmill 40 to 50 minutes at a time, 4 to 5 days a week. And I was able to accomplish that. And a friend asked me, oh, that's nothing. Come run with us. She really inspired me, another woman, to run. And then she asked me to do a half marathon. I thought she was nuts, but I did it and I actually finished before her and I was hooked. So at the age of 51, I became a half marathon runner. I've been able to keep my weight off and keep trim for over a decade. And it just shows you it doesn't matter what your age is. There's possibilities to improve upon yourself, whatever you need to have happen.
That is so inspiring, Debi. I was doing the math as you were talking. You look fantastic. You don't look a day over 40. So just keep doing whatever it is you're doing because that is working, right? And what is fascinating to me as I hear you talk is a lot of times everybody talks about how when women go through their perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, you can't lose the weight. And a lot of times everything is only exercise driven, and a lot of exercise also creates cortisol. And our weight is stress related because we're trying to take care of everybody and not make time for us. So when you take this holistic approach, what is it that you're doing differently that is beyond the physical exercise and workout that is also as a byproduct creating cortisol? What are some of the other things you're doing to release the right chemicals in a woman's body?
Well, the cortisol is an issue because, high cortisol will, trigger insulin and also, mess up your metabolism. But the first thing I do is help people to release their stress, find out how they can sleep better so they can balance their body. And if they need some other solutions when it comes to, hormone, balancing and things like that, I use herbals to help them with that as well. So there's different approaches for everybody because everybody has their own fingerprint of health. And but in order to release weight, you need to release your stress. In order to release your stress, you need to be more aware of what's going on around you, whether the stress is really internally to you or the stress is externally, and be more proactive about it. And I have audios that people can listen to release stress and help fall asleep with. I have also products that will help them produce natural melatonin because the body's supposed to be able to produce its own melatonin. And I also ask them about their lifestyle, how, whether they're on the computer a lot, that's a lot to do, whether they're sitting down a lot. And in all reality, they don't have to be a runner like I am. They just need to keep their body in motion in some way. It could be Zumba, it could be walking. Excuse me, I have to clear my throat. It could be anything like that. And my whole point is that I find things that fit into their lifestyle, whether it's food related, whether it's, exercise related, whether it is trying to modify their lifestyle so they're less stressed, whether it's relationship related as well.
I'm really struck by where you first started talking during during your answer, that you mentioned that the cortisol, the stress that relates to the weight, then that relates to this, that it seems like that there are so many interconnections within a woman, and as you said, holistic health, mind, body, spirit, etc. And so my question is, how do you get women to see that these things are interconnected? How do you make them, connect how do you help them connect the dots so the light turns on in their head? Oh, I see this stress is related to my weight, is related to my sleep, is related to how I'm eating. How do you help turn the light on in their head?
Well, if you think about as your body like an old-fashioned clock, that had gears in it, okay? If something's just out of sync, the whole clock is going to slow down. Like a car engine is going to slow down too when it doesn't get the right oil and it's not tuned up correctly. And what I talk about when I talk about inflammation, we have a lot of noise in our body system because the inflammation can be coming from all different parts of our body. It could be, some pain in a joint. It could be almost anything. It could be, your blood is not flowing as fluidly as it should be. So you need to look at your body as a whole. And your brain is part of that whole, because you need to be able to have everything functioning and running in an efficient way. And so stress does slow down your body. Inflammation slows down your body. All this slows down your metabolism. And in order to get your metabolism operating correctly, we need to see what areas of your life is causing the issues, and also, what they're eating and what they're doing in their lifestyle as well, and what's going on around their life, so they can control their stress, whatever's going on with their life, because they need to, be their own being and remember that they are important too. And because everybody, as women, we tend to, we give ourselves to a lot of people, and we can get overwhelmed. And obviously that causes stress. So it's important to understand your boundaries and what you can do, and start, you still could be a giving person, but just realize, what you want to do with your life and your health.
It's interesting, purely from the perspective of girls are raised to be good girls. And if you're a good girl, you take care of everybody, you take care of everything for everybody, and you please everybody. And so daughters are raised to be invisible for themselves so that everybody else can be visible, right?
Yes.
So when that is the preconditioning, to think about, hey, when the mask comes down in a plane, I need to put my oxygen mask before I can help others. That is not an easy mindset to overcome, especially at a later age when women have been caregivers, caretakers, breadwinners, providers, all of the above simultaneously. I feel that the emotional part of putting myself first, and it's okay to be selfish, which is not selfish, but
No, it's not.
self-sufficient and self-reliant. But that is looked upon as being selfish in the way the construct in our society is. To me, that feels like the hardest thing for women, because that comes with guilt, that comes with so many other things. How are you seeing women overcome it? And what are some of the pieces of advice you have for women who are struggling with it?
Yeah, now I was one of these women that I was caught between a mom declining from Alzheimer's and an infant son. So yes, I was overwhelmed, I was overstretched. So I've learned a lot through that process, and I lost my health, and I lost my self-worth in a way, because I was giving away too much. And with, what I do with my clients is I help them reshape their mindset. And yes, it is digging into their core beliefs, seeing what's going on and how they, were brought up as a little girl, and how they can look at things, go, okay, that was then, but this is now. And, in order for me to help other people in a more efficient way, is I need to value myself and move forward with what I need to do for myself, that I can help others. Just like you were saying, putting a mask on so you can help others. And through the whole pandemic, I was talking about that. It's important to take care of yourself so you can take care of others. Because if you're not, totally running on all gears, so to speak, you won't be able to help people on all gears in different ways. And so you got to work on, your mindset, and know that what you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing in life. That's your purpose in life. And there's another way of doing it versus having the old philosophy of what the family says. Because, life is different now than when our parents grew up, whenever their parents grew up. So we got to go with, what's going on right now. A lot of women are working now. And a lot of women are owning their own businesses now. So they are more in higher positions than they ever been, versus my parents. My mom was a teacher, okay, and then her mom was a seamstress. So think about that, a seamstress, teacher, someone that's an executive. Yeah, you're going up the little stress level as well, but you can release things saying, this is my purpose in life, and be comfortable and set and saying, I have a lot of value and I am helping others see the value too. It's just all how you handle that perspective of how we are growing in our lives and how we're transitioning into different roles. And also, you know, you know, share your knowledge with others of what you experienced, because they can learn from you how to being a stronger woman and be able to invest in the other women as well. Because we're so tied into the old traditions, and there's like new traditions now that we can share.
Robin?
I'm very impressed with what you just said. And I'm wondering, are there some common barriers or common beliefs that act as barriers to the women that you interact with? There's some overarching commonalities that you find that you deal with, and how do you deal with them effectively?
I've worked with many different type of women. Some of them have relationship issues with their husbands, and they don't feel so valued, but they want to do other things, for their own life. And there's others that are more, executive based, or they're more into health. So everyone's kind of a little bit different, and you got to approach it in a different way. The whole thing is, like Cass said, people think you're being self-centered. You're not. You're being self-loving so you can love people better. And that depends where those categories would lie. For some women where their marriages are not working out too well, they got to really consider what's best for everyone in the family and themselves, because you don't want to be in a marriage where you're miserable, and you can't amicably separate and still have a good life. It also depends on that partner too. That you don't want to be dragged down by people, because when you are always frustrated, it just drags you down. I've always told people that when you want to be a hot air balloon without ballast so you can float up to a better life, versus being dragged down, by a ballast that is not working for you. And that's why you need to release baggage, so to speak, so that you can be happier in your life. So that's not a selfish thing. My parents separated, and I was so grateful that my parents separated, because I was tired of hearing them fighting. And my father actually became more of a father after the separation. So the relationships can happen separately, and the family can still have a happy and cohesive unit and still celebrate traditions of holidays and things like that in the future. And then when it comes to somebody with health where they just need to tweak it, it's just happening, opening up the possibilities of other ideas to help them. And with the executive who's dealing with a lot of stress, is understanding where they want to put their time, where they want to invest their time in their health, and putting some time aside for that. Because it's really important to do that, because yes, we can make money, but you have to be around to enjoy it.
Very much so. Very, very poignant. Thank you so much, Debi. It's amazing how quickly time flies when we're having these beautifully deep conversations. But before we go any further, I would love for you to take a moment and share with our audience how they can get a hold of you. And if you were to leave them with a single idea of wisdom to take with themselves into the world today and for all our tomorrows, what would that be?
Okay. Everyone, there's always a possibilities in life to do something to better yourself. And that's the whole point of life, is learning to grow and constantly growing and doing something different to make yourself grow. And you can reach me at my link tree, which is at Debi Changes Lives, DebiChangesLives and Victory ES.com/linktree LINKTREE. And if you want to learn more about alternative health, you can watch my podcast, Debi Changes Lives, spelled the exact same way, that you can find on YouTube or w4wn.com, where we talk about a whole bunch of different topics of health, as well as mindset, and also spirituality and energy healers and things like that. So hope you joined us sometime.
Thank you so much, Debi. It's been an absolute delight and an honor to have this conversation with you. Thank you for making the time. And I am sure our audience are going to reach out to you because there is so much more to learn and embrace in our lives, right? We just barely scratched the surface. So thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for sharing your insights.
And thank you for having me on your show too. Thank you.
Our pleasure. And to our audience out there, you heard what Debi just said, and you know what you have been struggling with. You truly are a whole person. You truly are a whole person with a heart, mind, body, and a spirit. Feed and nurture all of it, because taking care of it all is what's going to make you able to take care of the ones you love, right? So think of yourself as a whole person and invest in yourself, because at the end of the day, none of us can give what we don't have. Therefore, we need to fill our cup in every sense of the word. As we go into our Thanksgiving and holiday season, remember to give thanks to the person you are and fill your own cup. And then from your full cup, turn around and fill those all around you.